Navajo Indians to early white settlers, man has found ways to use the Delaware River as a sustainable resource. Canal boats and logging rafts may have faded into history, but there are still those who make their living on the river. With thousands of people visiting the river and few of them owning personal watercraft, dozens of liveries have sprouted up to rent out tubes, rafts, canoes, and kayaks. The oldest and largest of such liveries in the Upper Delaware region is Kittatinny Canoes of Pike County.
We say first and finest. My parents started this company in 1941 with 6 canoes, and it's grown since then to canoes, kayaks, rafts, tubes. We have 2 campgrounds, we play paintball, and we have many locations on the Delaware River, and it's a big business.
Due to the size of the operation, Kittatinny is not only income for Jones and family, but a seasonal employer for a large number of local residents.
At peak of the season, we have close to 200 employees, and their various duties range from a beach boy, launching rafts and canoes and kayaks, to office girls taking reservations, to clerks in the store, managers of the campgrounds, managers of all our different bases, and maintenance people. We have a safety patrol out on the river. We have certified kayak instructors for our Learn to Kayak days and for our Learn to Canoe days. So we employ a lot of people for many, many reasons.
Along with sightseers and boaters, the Upper Delaware region attracts its share of fishing enthusiasts, all angling for the best spot to drop a line and some willing to pay a guide service to find it. Approximately 50 fishing guide services are licensed by the National Park Service to operate along the Upper Delaware River, among them Pocono Joe Zenas of Shahola.
Yeah, people from all over, New York, metropolitan area, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and we do get a lot of local people from just the general area. They want to fish and be taken down the river without worrying about borrowing a canoe or taking their own boats out. We can cover a lot of river in a short time.
But not all fish harvested in the Delaware are taken with rod and reel. One of the earliest forms of active fisheries is one still in use to this day. Eelwares are a method of fishing first developed by early Native Americans, by which rocks, stacked in the shape of an inverted V, use the flow of the river to corral eels into a rack and trap setup. Today, less than a dozen functional eel traps are in commercial operation on the Upper Delaware. This one, located near Narrowsburg, New York, is maintained by Floyd Campfield.
I got interested in it. Up where I live, there was an old hermit down there that had an eel trap. And this was in the 30s and 40s. And they used to congregate there in the evening, the old timers, and tell all their stories. And I loved to get down and sit with them in the evening just to hear their stories. And when I got married and I had children, and I decided to try it, and I've been doing it ever since.
A retired New York State Trooper, Campfield can be found tending his trap most days during the fall harvest season. But the largest concern in operation along the Upper Delaware Valley is that of the Department of Interior. The National Park Service oversees 2 tracts comprising more than 120,000 acres of land and more than 100 miles of river. The northernmost of these 2 parks is the scenic and recreational river, which winds down from Hancock to Port Jervis between New York and Pennsylvania. The park employs a staff of nearly 40 who play host each year to an estimated 400,000 visitors.
Well, our primary responsibility on the Upper Delaware is to manage the recreational use on the river. And how we do that takes various forms. We have a protection staff of park rangers who enforce Park Service regulations. We have interpretive park rangers who give educational programs to the public about rules of the river. Our interpretive staff does educational programs on the area's natural history as well as the cultural history.
Such as a towpath, Roebling Bridge, and Zane Grey Museum, former riverside home of the famed Western novelist and noted sports fisherman. The park is unique because it is a working partnership between the federal government and private landowners. With an estimated 5 million visitors a year, the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area is currently ranked 9th among the nation's more than 360 national parks. With a staff of little more than 100, the park assumes stewardship of more than 40 miles of river, from Milford, Pennsylvania to Kittatinny Point, New Jersey.
One of the most important things the National Park Service does is to protect this river for all generations, to make sure that the water is clean, to make sure it's a good place where we'd all like to come now, today, tomorrow, and into the future.
When we come back, we'll meet some people who passionately believe that beautiful scenes like this are meant not just to be savored for the moment, but preserved for future generations to enjoy as well.